Oh, we got sudo. Here we go. All right, let me stop sharing. This tab, we got sudo on. Sudo, how you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. How you been?
Awesome, awesome. Sorry for the delay. Sorry for the delay. I was just stuck in one of the calls. I'm really sorry for this.
Yeah, all good. We're gonna have to speed run a little bit though, but I think we should be able to fit it in like 30 minutes. But sudo, we let's get right into it. Let's start by getting your background. You know, you're building HyperSwap. Tell us a bit about yourself. What qualifies you? You know how you got into this, and then we'll talk about HyperSwap a bit more after that. So please, sudo, take the
Sure.
floor.
Thanks for that. Thanks for the invite, guys. So just to give you a background, I've been in tech for over 20 years now, and I've started close to about well, realistically, I started about 16 companies, but eight of them were real official companies. A lot of them failed, but I got two exits that qualified me as an entrepreneur rather than just an unemployed guy who works for tech. More recently, I would say my corporate experience, I joined Vodafone UK in 2012 as a UX designer, and then I progressed and got promoted as head of product innovation before leaving Vodafone in 2020. And
Okay.
during my time, I built one of the products on AI, which was built on a very rudimentary AI models as compared to what we have today. So it was basically based on RNN, CNN, if you want to get technical. So I've been in AI for over 9 years
Nice.
and
That's crazy.
built. Yeah, yeah, and I'm so glad now people are talking about AI because it's quite refreshing how the speed of evolution in terms of AI development has happened,
And well,
and
real quick, shortly, can we touch on that? What did AI even look like 9 years ago?
it was a decision tree model. So you would have the context window was very small. Like right now we talk in terms of tokens. At that time we would talk in terms of steps. Like for example, when you enter a customer service chat window, it would give you whether it's yes or no, and depending on your answer you would move on to the next question. So it was very rudimentary. And
Nice.
even though it was rudimentary, it was IBM Watson we integrated with our chatbot was probably the most advanced AI model that we could use at that time. We used to program in R as opposed to Python because of the speed of compute that was needed. Right now, you can write code in Python and it would run smoothly, and you wouldn't necessarily care much about the speed of the compute that is needed. Like the programming languages could be had to be a lot faster. So we used to code in R, Julia, and MATLABs because Python was too slow. And yeah, lot has changed since then.
Got you. Okay. So, and you said you had roughly 18 businesses, two of which you exited for. Tell us about the success stories.
So I built a data analytics company in 20 I started in 2014, and I essentially got lucky with that because first we moved into what it was called poll plug. So what it could do is you could do polls, surveys, and quizzes, and basically get all the answers, and we would get all the data, and then we would distribute that to different enterprises. So our consumer side really failed when we first started. So then we moved on to the enterprise side, like the small medium and business enterprises, and that was really successful because we could essentially play with a lot of APIs. Even APIs was very new at that time. So we were one of the few companies who could provide APIs, open APIs that could easily integrate, where companies could do polls, surveys, or quizzes for their employees as well as their customers on a same platform. That's what Pullplug was. And we got lucky because after a year and a half, we got acquired by a data analytics company, and that was really good. And then
Nice.
I sold one of the CPG companies in 2020, I guess. Yeah, 2020, I sold one of the CPG companies And then I started a badass water company, which was I was trying to compete with liquid death,
Oh, wow.
and yeah, it was called a badass water company. So it was running really successfully, honestly.
Okay.
Um, like you can search, we had a partnership with Dead as well at that time. So I was running it as solo founder at that time. So I did not have any partners, but we had a distribution across 90 different countries. The water was coming out of Ukraine, for that matter. We had three sources. One is Ukraine, Bosnia, and Canada. We had a distribution center in US. We started with US, and we even got a grant from Polygon at that time.
Wow.
So what we were doing was basically putting the entire supply chain from manufacturing to recycling all on the blockchain.
Got
So
you.
we had a pretty good brand and everything. Everything was working nicely, and then I discovered DeFi in the midst of all this, and I did a project for one of the DeFi protocols, which is not obviously it's not there anymore, but I was helping one of the DeFi project, and and we made a lot of money overnight. And I thought, what the hell am I trying to do here? Like we were 12 developers for that
Wow.
AMM, and overnight, I think we basically made like 2.8 million collectively as a company. And I was wondering, am I in the wrong business? Like I was thinking of this as a side thing.
Wow.
And suddenly DeFi summer came alive and this happened. And, and that made me rethink whether I'm in the right uh, industry altogether. And because I had built a proof of concept for Vodafone, during my time at Vodafone, I was doing a proof of concept for basically within Vodafone, different countries are there, like Vodafone India, Vodafone Netherlands, Vodafone UK. So I used to work for Vodafone UK. So we did a blockchain proof of concept for them for roaming credits, for exchanging roaming credits. So I was basically doing just the tech work without even looking at the price. I never looked at the price. My first Bitcoin, I bought it for £250 on Coinbase in 2016. In
Wow.
2020, when I looked at the Coinbase wallet, it was £22,000. And all of a sudden, like it was series of events that made me question that why am I not paying attention to this industry altogether?
Okay. So you have an extensive AI background, you have an extensive DeFi background. How does that lead into what you're building now? And can you tell us a little bit about HyperSwap and what you're doing there?
Sure. I think it's a good segue into why I was building HyperSwap and because I entered DeFi. So, continuing from that, my whole thing was that tomorrow we wouldn't need banks. So, my whole thing was how can I build a bank entirely on DeFi? Now, obviously, we weren't ready at that time. In 2021, we weren't. Like the technology wasn't as secure, bridges weren't as secure, uh, even RPCs, a simple thing, wasn't as available as it is right now. And the speed of transactions, Solana was very new at that time. Like it was a beautiful blockchain to work with, honestly. Like it was moving from Ethereum to Solana in 2021. There was a day and night difference,
Oh my
literally
gosh,
day
yeah.
and night. So it was
Once you
it
go to
was
Solana
incredible.
from ETH, it's I mean, it's so hard to go back.
Yeah, yeah, it was incredible. So you fell in love with that, the whole UX of it. But it was something of a dream, as you would say, that I wanted to build a bank. And more recently, now coming back 4 or 5 years from now, as I was advising some of the AI crypto companies. I was in Singapore in 2024. I was advising. I was consulting, product consulting, an AI startup. They weren't necessarily crypto fully, like they didn't have a token or anything. They was just enabling some of the crypto features with stable coins and basically getting the content. So very early stage startup. I was consulting, and from that I met two of the guys who basically wanted to do the same thing that I wanted to build a bank. And I said, in order to build a bank, you need to have some sort of a liquidity injection into it so you can provide lending, borrowing, so on and so forth. So during that time, I was working on my routing engine because I was playing around with a lot of meme tokens as well. Now, if a meme token is launched on BNB or a meme token is launched on Sui, I quickly had to bridge the funds. Now, what I did was I built a very basic. The first version of HyperSwap was just a CLI script, a command line script, which would tell me where the liquidity is, like whether it's on dbridge or whether it's on, let's say, Stargate or anything anywhere else. So I would quickly know where I'm getting the best rate from, and where I'm getting the fastest swap from one chain to another. So I basically built that into a workable product. This was just an experimentation initially, to be fair. And once I built the product, we tested with some users. Now, initially, it was just an AI agent. We actually worked. We started with AI agent. We did not start with a web interface. So we started with AI agent. When we tested with first 10, 15 users, they said, "I just want to do the swap. Give me the swap. I don't want to talk to an agent to actually do the swap."
Okay.
And we built the web app after building the agent. We still have the agent. It's pretty advanced. It's probably the most advanced DeFi agent at this point, but we'll get to that later. So the whole purpose of HyperSwap is basically creating a foundational liquidity layer, just like Stripe is, which could power other ecosystem apps, whether it's enterprise, whether it's consumer apps, or whether it's any sort of app that requires either payments, checkout, or basically accepting payments within any of the crypto across 75 chains. So our whole purpose was that we would abstract away all the chains. And our whole vision is to not let bring Web 2 into Web 3, because we've been trying to do that for the last 10 years. Every single project that comes alive says we're bringing Web 2 to Web 3. And that is a big friction point. Like, why would Web 2 want to come to Web 3 when all you can offer is speculation, not the experience of the app? Because Web 2 is pretty advanced. In 2 clicks, you can get to where you want to. You don't have to worry about when you like a picture on the Instagram, you never have to worry about whether it's worked on Python, whether it's coded on Python, or whether it's
Right.
coded on in Java. You just want to chat to your friend or like an image or whatever you want to do or go live. So our whole thing is that we will abstract the entire idea of chains and even accounts for Web2 users. And our whole thing was that we will everything will be powered by HyperSwap, where the apps on top of it would actually serve exactly as PayPal or Western Union or cross border payments that you want to do. So, for that, what we needed was sub-second swaps that you can move one currency to another or one chain to another in less than 10 seconds. And we have achieved that. That was our mission. Initially, it used to take about 13, 14 minutes when we first launched. Today, even if you want to do a Bitcoin transaction, like move funds from Bitcoin to Ethereum, which is the slowest, the two of the slowest chains because of the network congestion, it used to take 30 to 40 minutes to move from Bitcoin to Ethereum mainnet. With us today, it takes less than 3 minutes.
So when if you compare your bridge to competitors, uh, where do you kind of land? Would you say you're one of the fastest bridges? Would you say you're still working on getting faster, or like give us some context on the speed you're talking about?
So we're in the top 1% in terms of all the bridges out there. We're probably the fastest. 99% of the time, we're the fastest and the cheapest out there. And we have the most coverage. So you
Okay.
can, so I'll tell you a little bit of tech behind as well. So we essentially have two AI models who are ingesting and who are basically streaming all the data from different blockchains. Like, for example, based on liquidity, based on market cap, how much time is it taking? So those sort of things. So it's basically streaming all the data. As soon as you go on the swab and you basically select two chains that you want to, or even select the two tokens that you want to swap to, then a small language model comes alive and gives you this. the best path possible depending on your requirement. It will give you the best route in terms of the best rate. And the second thing it'll do is it'll give you the fastest way to bridge. So if you can't wait for 10 seconds and you want to swap in 2 seconds, you could do that as well.
Got you. I saw a tweet earlier right here, and I'll pull that up. And by the way, I would love for you to share your screen too and like showcase this live. I think the best way to really prove out your tech is by doing that. So you're welcome to do that. But I have this tweet up, and I guess my next question would be, you have this extremely fast bridge and you have this integration with AI. How do you get users to come to it, right? Because if you have all the components, you just need the user base. What's your means of doing that
So
user
there are two
acquisition?
ways. Yeah, for our user acquisition, we are going the two-way routes. One is we are providing open APIs that any project can come in and now basically integrate the APIs. Or if you don't know how to work with APIs, you can go and just integrate our widget. So Rainmaker was the first project which integrated. If you go to rainmaker.fun, right on
Yes.
the homepage, they have integrated HyperSwap.
I have that saved or bookmarked. Share this tab. Here we go. So GM, first wave of integrations rolling out are step by step with APIs under close watch. I will say we've had the Rainmaker dev on, Rainy Dev, I think is what he goes by. He's a very smart guy. I mean, he codes all his stuff in house, and it's
Yeah,
not like
exactly.
craft
Yeah,
work.
we've spoken quite a lot, and of course, he's a great person, and he seems really smart. So that is one of the steps that we're doing. We're basically trying to partner with every single protocol that could have some sort of cross-chain bridge utility within their project that they're building. And it's not only that, we can even list the tokens. We now have the capability to list the tokens as well. So, for example, let's say any of the new projects, let's say even a meme token, we can now instantly take it cross chain in less than 8 hours.
So, okay, I guess then my first question with this would be, how do you make money from this? I saw that maybe you can pay $300 to get your token listed, and then also like how can you scale it quicker as opposed from going project to project, maybe making a partnership with a Believe or a Bags or
So
a Light.
we are working towards that at this point. So we want to provide open APIs directly to within natively within the Believe ecosystem. So any project that is launched within either on the Believe ecosystem or even at the stages of where even Meteora as well, because a lot of Star.fun or those sort of launchpads have integrated Meteora as well. So we're trying to explore that partnerships as well. So
Got you.
we already have some sort of a relationship with Meteora at this point, and we're exploring how we can essentially make those APIs natively available through all the launchpads, so that any project that wants cross-chain capability without permissionlessly use the APIs and do that, integrate the swaps. So the benefit for any of the project that wants to do that is we will also share revenue based on the volumes that they generate, and it can go as high as 50% as well.
Okay. Okay, got you. And that's just how do you pick and choose the referral level of like someone? How could, let's say I went to launch a project at 50% referral as opposed to 25%? Is it just based on how much value they can bring in,
It's
or
just based on how much volume. If you do 2 million above 2 million volume, you will be instantly given. It's right now it's manual. Like every week, a script runs and transfers money in your wallet that you have integrated. But in about 2 weeks, once we have our SDK in place, it's going to be instant. That means every single swap, the money is either transferred directly in your wallet or is there for you to claim.
got you, got you. Okay, I wanna focus on this tweet real quick, and then we're gonna get into tokenomics and whatnot as well. But you put out a tweet. You said when we launched, daily transaction volume averaged 20 to 30K a day. During the rebuild of a routing engine and new APIs, volume dipped to roughly 5 to 15, as expected since entire routing engine was rebuilt from scratch. The good news, they're climbing steadily week over week. So I'm assuming that growth is looking good right now. With our latest partnership and integrations, we're positioned to accelerate growth. Our immediate target is 100K in daily volume Alongside this, we're rolling out Transaction Explorer along with DeFi llama integration, so everyone can transparently track the volume. Has that tracking been rolled out yet? And I
No,
guess
we're hard at work at staking at this point, which has become a slightly more involved work. But as soon as staking is done, which should be done by tomorrow, we're left with final audit. So we've already scored. I can talk more about tokenomics and staking later, but by tomorrow, our final audit should be complete, and then we'll be focusing on entirely the Explorer, where you can track each transaction, chains, which chain it originated from, where it finalized, along with DeFi Llama integration. Because that was always on the cards. It's just that it took a step back while we were working through all the API integrations.
okay. And how's that growth looking? You said down here as expected since you said we're climbing week on week. How is that looking right now? Do you have like a number you could give to that volume you guys are doing per day, and any
So we
translation as
on
what
an
that looks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So per day, we can say we're averaging between 7 to 10k, depending on the number of days that we're going through. So 7 to 10k is realistically what's happening on an average. That's why I put 5 to 15 is because the 5 is the minimum and the 15 is the maximum that we have seen in a day. Now the reason for actually volume going down, which was expected, is because we integrated more APIs within our overall routing engine. And because of doing that, we had to test every single use case. When we first launched, we were only supporting less than 20 chains. But now we support close to about, I've actually lost count. We probably we are 100% sure we support more than 75, and I'm 99% sure we support more than 120.
Okay.
When we first launched, we used to support close to about 2,000 tokens. Today, I'm guessing we support more than 50,000 tokens.
50.
50 tokens.
Oh wow, I saw a tweet. It said like 15. So I
Yeah,
thought you were
but
gonna
it's
go with
15. We have crossed that. We have, like, we are, like, just go, and it's more than 50,000 tokens. That's, I'm sure. And as we started to list more tokens, so our new capability is that now we can take any project and get them listed on, and they will be, users will be able to swap from 75 chains directly to their token instantly, like we've done with the for the rain token as well. We've so far listed about 2 tokens, so it's been really good, and we're speaking to a lot more. We're speaking to about 6 projects at this point, just on token listing.
got you.
And I,
What's up? I'm not sure if you cut out or if you were just gonna let me go.
sorry, did you get that last part? I actually got a call.
Oh yeah. No, maybe repeat it. You were good until like
Uh,
5 seconds ago.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Pseudo, you with us? In the meantime, guys, I see Nova's in here. Yeah, this is a HyperSwap interview, so I'm not gonna bring up Nova now, but please hit my DMs. We'll get you guys on one of these days. But thanks for coming on. And yeah, Wi-Fi, we want to hear your story. Just we'll give you your own interview because we got Paragon coming on after this. So Pseudo, you with us? Oh man, we lost him. We lost him right before we were about getting to tokenomics, guys. He's typing in the private chat. Let's see. If not, all good.
I'm not too sure if you can hear me now.
I can hear you, Pseudo. Yeah, can you hear me? Guess he can't hear me. You guys can hear him, right? I think so. Yeah, Gav. Okay. I would love to finish this now just to keep this clip one clip for YouTube, but if not, we can jump around. I know, dude. Okay. Then what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna drop. Yeah, I'm gonna drop Pseudo. Okay, he left. Let's wait for him to come back.
Sorry,
Pseudo.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, I got a call.
Okay, you're all good. We got a few
Good.
minutes here before I got Paragon coming on. So let's I guess speed run through your token. Your chart looks really good. You know, you're getting your volume kind of starting to ramp up. You're looking for integrations. Tell us about where the token kind of comes into play. Is it deflationary? Is there a profit share? Like what happens with that?
So essentially, we had a two token model before, and we changed that model because the community did not like that model. Although
Mhm.
it would have been better. It's hard to communicate sometimes. So therefore, we moved on to a single model tokenomic structure. And what that really means is that it's going to be deflation. It's already deflationary. We have burned close to about $3,000 worth of tokens so far. So obviously, it's running out. Uh, and at the same time, what we are doing is as soon as we reach $10,000 in our revenue or plus the fees, it's not going to be just the fees, it's going to be revenue plus fees.
And you're
As
talking about
soon
believe fees or platform
belief
fees?
fees,
Got you.
belief fees plus the platform fees. So we run in tandem with that. So as soon as that is reached $10,000, 10% of that is basically we buy that token and give it to the stakers with boosts. For initial time, there's going to be boosts as well. For if you've been holding since the day we launched, the first month we launched, you get extra boosts for holding the token. As far as
Okay.
staking is
And so
concerned,
that'll be distributed to stakers. And then what do you say for people, let's say, that's gonna cause some sort of sell pressure because these stakers are gonna dump? Is
so
there a
we have
vesting?
yeah, exactly. So 20% of that $10,000 essentially goes into buyback and burn. So we would buy, let's say 2,000, 20% is $2,000, and we basically buy $2,000 worth of tokens and we burn those tokens.
Okay. And then so how does that look on a longer term horizon? So you hit this first $10,000 mark. Is there going to be uh like is there going to be deeper integration at some point, or is it just going to continue to be milestones where it's like 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, 100,000?
So it's going to be every 10,000 that we earn,
Got
combine
you.
the volume. So this does not stop as long as our volume is up or we're earning fees. As long as we're alive, the burning keeps on burning.
Okay, so 20%
The
percent goes
buyback and
to
burns.
buybacks and burns, 80% goes to stakers.
No, 80% is no. 70% is our operations. 30% is effectively where 10% is given to the stakers and 20% is buyback and burns. So basically, we are distributing less tokens than what we are buying back and burn to take away that sell pressure instantly.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I'm tracking that. Okay, cool. Well, I guess I want to say with you, you can wrap this up at some point here and just give us maybe forward-looking thoughts, roadmap, kind of what's coming next for HyperSwap, what people should be expecting, and then any kind of alpha you want to drop or share to get people excited.
Uh,
Go for it, Sudo.
so Okay. So there's alpha definitely. Everything that we're working on at this point is alpha. Obviously, we have a lot of integrations, and people already know that we're working through integrations, marketing to increase our volume. That is our first target. No matter what happens, we're basically focused on that to make HyperSwap probably the best swap out there, best bridges of all bridges, as we like to call it. But at the same time, we're also building our ecosystem applications. So one of them is Tip My Wallet. We are rebranding this, and we're working through this. You can actually search tipmywallet.com. So we have integrated Launchpad, Meteora's Launchpad already within our overall structure, and we're adding few more features before we actually go out and full launch this. And this is entirely powered by HyperSwap.
Okay, here I gotta pull up. Tip my wallet. So this is something you're working on. Give your audience an easy way to stay. So tell me about this real quick then.
So this is effectively think of it as Linktree plus Patreon plus Creator Launchpad all in one.
Okay.
And we're adding more features onto it. Could introduce live streaming and clipping and e-commerce as a part of it as well. So you can the app is functioning right now, but it works in a very it's an MVP at this point. But behind the scenes, we are integrated whole lot of features.
Okay. And so when you talk about ecosystem apps, is this one of the many things you guys will be, building kind of powered by HyperSwap token?
HyperSwap. Yes, exactly.
Got you.
This is going to be entirely powered by HyperSwap token.
And are there more in the pipeline right now, or is this
Yeah,
is like the main push?
there is one called Palm, PALM. So we've shared some of the screens with on Twitter. I've shared some of the screens, and being built at this point. But our whole focus is we're not going to release too quickly. What it is basically a cross-border payments app, just like PayPal, but mainly focused towards Southeast Asian countries, including Brazil and Nigeria. Because our whole focus is that now we can essentially do cross-border payments pretty fast. Because we can do crypto to crypto really fast, we can do fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat because we have on-ramp integration as well. So therefore, behind the scenes, when you transfer money from, let's say, US to, let's say, Singapore, it usually takes between 6 hours and 2 days, depending on which banking services that you're using, either through Western Union or even through Revolut.
Okay.
What we really want to aim for is behind the scenes, because we're really fast at all these swapping mechanisms, we could essentially reduce that time to less than 5 minutes.
Got you. And do you also have an off ramp as well? You said you have an on ramp. Is there an off ramp as well, or is that getting
Yeah,
built?
exactly. If you go to, we have on ramp as well as off ramp, and we have peer to peer on ramp and off ramp as well. So if you want to not disclose the transactions publicly and you want to do it peer to peer, you could do that as well. So if you go to app.hyperswap.ai, everything's right there.
Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, here's the P2P.
So
The
P2P can be a
sequence.
little bit slow because of the liquidity that is required for a particular token. And it's if the liquidity is provided by a person, because it's not a market maker or a liquidity provider who is providing liquidity. These are individuals who are providing liquidities. So it can be a
Okay.
bit slow, but it ensures that your transactions remain private.
Okay. Interesting. I see the vision. I like what you're building. I guess the next question is you already talked a bit about how you're going to scale up, but maybe just elaborate a bit more on that. What are your, I guess, direct next steps on how you're going to really onboard the next wave of users, right? Because that's what you need.
I think we're speaking to a lot of blockchains partners as well. And even if one blockchain partner, the advantage that we have at this point is we're not stuck on one single ecosystem or one single blockchain. Our capability extends across 75 different blockchains. Like we support 48 EVM chains, including Bera chain, Abstract, even Cosmos ecosystem. So just one partnership in terms of one blockchain could essentially accelerate us into higher volumes.
Got you.
So our focus is to basically focus on the small different projects, obviously that barrel test our APIs. So that is more important once our tech is robust or not. At the same time, we are speaking to foundations at this point to make sure that we are basically a foundation. If only one of the foundations actually buys into our overall vision, it's just a matter of time before we accelerate.
Awesome. Pseudo, well, I appreciate the conversation. Obviously we had to keep it kind of short because I got Gavin coming up here in a second, but I have a much better idea of what you guys are building, and I'm excited to see the other apps that you got in your pipeline as well. So I'll be following and paying attention. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. This was great. Pleasure to
Awesome,
be here.
Pseudo. Yeah, man, take it easy.
Thank you. Take it easy. Bye.